part in our pastry series, which I am coloring in Romantic Country, the First Tale by Eriy. And we're making great progress in our series. We've already done quite a few parts, and today I want to focus on the religieuse. And I'm going to do this a light green color with a pastry at the bottom here, and then you've got these bits up here and on the top, which are kind of like the icing. So I'm going to pull up for you a reference photo up on this side, so you can see how I'm going to approach this. And then I'm going to make the macaron up here a similar shade as to this icing, which I think is going to work really, really well. So so we're going to use a sap green light, PC120, and we're going to use this as a base layer. And where we want it darker, we're going to put a bit more pressure, and where it's going to be lighter, we're going to ease up our pressure. But we need to have enough pigments, so when we use a white pencil to create a highlight, we've got something to blend. Because the highlight is white, but it also bleeds through gently into the lightest form of this color. All right. So now we're going to take a jade green, PC1021, and we're going to build up our shadowed areas with this color. Okay, so then we're going to go over that with our sap green light, PC120. And then we want to use 50% cool gray PC1063. Jade green PC1021. PC120 sap green light. PC938 White. And this is going to create a highlight. Back to PC120 sap green light. All right, PC1063 50% cool gray. Alright, and now we're going to use a colorless blender, and we're going to just blend this all together. PC120 sap green light. Now you don't have to necessarily press very hard when you're blending with a colorless blender, because you don't want to necessarily burnish. You just want to blend the colors into the tooth of the paper and still have some tooth left over. So if we pick up a little bit of 90% cool grade PC1067, then PC1063 50% cool gray, PC1067 90% cool gray, PC1021 Jade green, PC1063 50% cool gray, PC1067 90% cool gray. Just go from the 90% cool gray to the 50% cool gray. PC1021 Jade green, and then your colorless blender just to blend this all up. PC1021, sorry, no, PC120 sap green light, and then PC938 white, next we want some eggshell, PC140, If you recall the photo that we're using, it has a very soft sponge here. So it's not a dark sponge, it's quite a light spongy cake. Then we need some light umber. PC1034 Goldenrod. Sienna brown, PC945. PC947 burnt umber. Some beige, PC997. Again, we try not to have it too dark, but we do need some brightness here to show that it's got shadow and a bit of 3D dimension to it, but we don't want to have our pastry too dark. So I really don't want to have this too light. I might actually go over my shadowed areas with some white to knock it back a bit. Okay, then I want some eggshell. Okay, so now I'm going to take my white once it's clean. And I'm going to try and blend this down. Alright, so we're bringing Sienna Brown, PC945. Now, the Religieuse is very much a lighter pastry, so it's not going to look as red as maybe the Amandine or even the Paris Brest. It's going to look a little bit more paler, but we do want to give it a little bit more color. Now, I did a little bit of research, and the Religieuse, and I'm not even pronouncing it properly because it is French, it has some history. So according to what I could find, it was invented in 1850 by a Parisian pastry chef called Frascati. And around that same time, the choux pastry had already been perfected. So the religieuse is a dessert using the choux pastry, and what that is very light pastry, very airy and fluffy, filled with a cream filling. I think it would have a flavoring inside it, so maybe a coffee flavoring and that sort of thing. And then it would be glazed. Now, typically it would be glazed with a chocolate ganache. I've given it a more green ganache than a chocolate ganache because I wanted to bring a bit of brightness to my coloring page. And as you recall, my reference photo has got a green ganache or glaze on it. Now, in 1929, Frascati's sweet dessert became known as the religieuse, which is French for a nun, because the cream puffs here, the top one and the bottom one, looked like a nun dressed in her black and white habit. And so if you would envision where I've done the green glaze or ganache, it would be typically chocolate, and then you would have here the white color, which is a cream color, and as far as I know, it would also be matching, well, that would be cream, but the ganache would match the flavor of the cream inside the choux pastry. So that gives you just a little bit more of an understanding of the background behind the religieuse. Now, I'm not very good with French pronunciation, which is why I never took French up in school. I chose for Spanish instead, because I find the French pronunciation a lot more challenging than Spanish or Portuguese. So even Italian is easier for me than French. So here you can see it's just brightened this up quite nicely. because while I do need it pale, I do need to have a little bit more of a brightness to it. So I'm using the sienna brown just to brighten the shadow areas up. And then what I'm going to do is take a cream pencil in a minute or so, probably less. So in typical South African terms, just now I am going to take a pencil and I'm going to use some cream to just blend the sienna brown out. Alright, so let's get out some cream, which is PC914, and I'm just going to blend it out so that it's there but it's gentle. While I was editing the video for the Paris breast, I realized actually it would be really good and helpful if I did a bit of research on these pastries and then included the information in the videos. So if you are interested in the Paris breast, it is a very similar to a chocolate eclair, but instead of being rectangular like a tube, the Paris breast has a circular motion, and it was created for a cycling event between Paris all the way to the city of Brest, and it was created in a circular shape to resemble the bicycle wheel. Okay, so let's just tidy this up a bit here. And we're going to do our cream. So again, we're going to use some beiges. No, not beige, sorry, grays. So I'm going to use PC1074, which is a 70% French grey. And then I'm going to use some PC1061 30% cool grey. Bearing in mind we have to be sparse with our greys. We just want to create a shadowed area, but we do need to leave a lot more white areas. You can put in a bit of cream, PC914, just to bring some brightness if you would like. Alright, and then we take a white pencil, preferably a sharp one, It doesn't have to be super sharp, but you do need a little bit of point. And as always, make sure it's clean. Then we want a white Sakura jelly roll or a white Posca pen. You could use any of your preferred white gel pens. And we want to go around the edges, and you can even take a paintbrush with acrylic paint if you prefer. All right, let me zoom you out. So that is what we have done and what we have left to do. Thank you so much everyone for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this color along, and I will see you in the next video to carry on with some of the final parts. We are almost done with this page and I'm very, very pleased with how it's turned out. Until next time everyone, take care and happy coloring. Bye for now. So I'm going to zoom you in and